There's a specific category of browser that offers a kind of privacy that most browsers do not offer, which is the property of not knowing the user's own IP address. The specific browsers that offer this property are built around anonymization networks that route web traffic through multiple intermediary servers in ways that prevent any single party, including the browser itself, from knowing both who the user is and what they are accessing. The most widely used browser in this category is Tor browser, which is based on Firefox and which integrates with the Tor anonymization network. There are specific other browsers and configurations that provide similar or related capabilities. The specific privacy properties these tools provide are meaningfully different from what conventional privacy-focused browsers provide, and understanding the specific properties is useful for users who are evaluating their options for online privacy. I want to walk you through what these tools are, how they work, what the specific privacy properties are, what the trade-offs are, and when the specific kind of privacy is worth pursuing. Let me start with a specific description of what the privacy property is. When you use a conventional browser to visit a website, several specific parties learn about your visit. Your internet service provider knows what websites you're visiting because your computer has to contact the website's server. The website knows your IP address because the website has to send responses back to you. Various intermediaries between you and the website may know about the visit. Third parties that are involved in the website, including advertisers and analytics providers, may know about the visit. The specific combination of information that each party has varies, but the general pattern is that your visits to websites are observable by multiple parties, and specifically that the website you visit knows your IP address, which can be tied to your physical location and to your internet account. Tor browser and related tools change this by routing your traffic through multiple intermediary servers. The specific routing, in the case of Tor, involves at least 3 servers, each of which knows only limited information. The first server knows who you are, but not what you're accessing. The middle servers know neither who you are nor what you are accessing. The last server knows what you are accessing, but not who you are. The website you are visiting sees a connection coming from the last server, not from you, and does not know your real IP address. The specific cryptographic properties of Tor ensure that no single party in the chain has enough information to identify both who you are and what you're doing. The specific guarantee depends on the details of the routing, but in general, Tor provides strong anonymity against most adversaries. The result, from the user's perspective, is that they are browsing the web without revealing their IP address to the websites they visit. The websites do not know where the user is. The user's internet service provider knows the user is using Tor, but does not know what websites the user is visiting through Tor. The various third parties involved in the websites do not have the information they need to track the user across visits in the ways they normally would. Let me describe the specific tools that provide this kind of capability. Tor browser is the primary tool. It is a modified version of Firefox that is configured to route all traffic through the Tor network, that has specific privacy settings pre-configured, and that has specific features that reduce the fingerprintable information that websites can learn about the browser. Tor browser is developed by the Tor project, a specific organization that also develops the Tor network itself. The browser is free, open source, and available for multiple platforms. Brave browser, which I have discussed in other contexts, includes a Tor integration that allows users to open specific tabs that use Tor while using the rest of the browser normally. The specific Tor integration in Brave is based on the same Tor network as Tor browser, but the specific privacy properties are somewhat different because of the specific way Brave implements the integration. Tor browser is generally considered more secure for specific privacy use cases because it has more specific privacy hardening than Brave's Tor tabs have. Mullvad browser is a specific browser developed by Mullvad, the VPN provider, in collaboration with the Tor project. Mullvad browser is similar in design to Tor browser, but is intended to be used with a VPN rather than with the Tor network. The specific privacy properties are different because VPNs provide a different kind of anonymity than Tor does. I2P is a specific anonymous network that is similar to Tor but uses a different technical approach. The I2P network has its own specific tools, including specific browsers that work with it. The specific privacy properties of I2P are similar to Tor's but differ in specific details. Now let me describe the specific trade-offs of using these tools. The first trade-off is performance. Routing traffic through multiple intermediary servers adds latency, and the specific servers in the Tor network have bandwidth limitations. The result is that browsing through Tor is typically slower than conventional browsing. The specific slowdown varies, but for common use cases, the slowdown is noticeable. Pages load more slowly. Videos may struggle to play smoothly. Interactive applications may be frustratingly slow. The second trade-off is functionality. Many websites treat Tor traffic differently from conventional traffic. Specific websites block Tor entirely. showing specific error pages to Tor users. Other websites require specific additional verification from Tor users, such as specific CAPTCHAs or specific account verification steps. Some websites simply do not work well through Tor because of specific features that do not translate well. The specific impact varies by website, but for a user who visits a wide range of websites, encountering specific issues is common. The third trade-off is the specific behavior changes that Tor browser imposes. The browser is configured with specific privacy-focused defaults that limit some functionality. JavaScript is restricted. Specific browser features are disabled. The specific settings can be adjusted, but doing so can weaken the privacy properties. The specific experience for users who are accustomed to modern web functionality can feel constrained. The fourth trade-off is the suspicion that using Tor can attract. Specific jurisdictions, specific internet service providers, and specific parties treat Tor use as suspicious. The specific treatment can include additional scrutiny, blocked access to specific services, and in some jurisdictions, legal or social consequences. The specific situation depends heavily on context. Now let me describe when this specific kind of privacy is worth pursuing. The first specific situation is for users whose activities require strong anonymity for specific reasons. Journalists communicating with sources, activists in authoritarian jurisdictions, whistleblowers, and certain categories of researchers have specific needs for anonymous browsing that conventional tools cannot meet. For these users, Tor and related tools are essential. The second specific situation is for users who are accessing specific content that is blocked in their jurisdiction. Tor can bypass specific censorship in specific circumstances, allowing users to access content that would otherwise be unavailable to them. The specific effectiveness depends on the specific censorship technology used. The third specific situation is for users who want to access specific hidden services that are available only through the Tor network. The specific network includes services that are accessible only through Tor, often through specific onion addresses. These services include a wide range of legitimate resources, and also, it should be noted, some illegal resources. Users should be aware of what they are accessing. The fourth specific situation is for users who simply prefer the strong privacy property and are willing to accept the trade-offs. For these users, the specific choice to use Tor for all browsing or for specific sensitive browsing is a valid personal choice. For users whose situation is not one of these, the specific kind of privacy that Tor provides is probably not necessary in the conventional order. Privacy tools, including privacy-focused browsers with tracking protection, may be a better fit. The specific choice should be based on the specific threats and the specific priorities that the user has. Let me describe the specific practical considerations for using these tools. The first consideration is to download the specific tools from legitimate sources. Tor browser should be downloaded from the Tor project's official website, not from third parties. Specific malicious versions of Tor browser have been distributed by various parties, and using a compromised version can undermine the privacy the tool is supposed to provide. The second consideration is to use the specific tools correctly. Tor browser works best when used with its default settings. Specific changes to the settings can weaken the privacy properties. Users who want to adjust the settings should do so with specific awareness of the implications. The third consideration is to be aware of the specific behaviors that can compromise Tor's privacy properties even when the tool is used correctly. Downloading files through Tor and then opening them with conventional applications can reveal the user's identity because those applications may connect to their servers outside of Tor. Using specific identifying information within Tor, such as logging into accounts that are tied to the user's real identity, undermines the anonymity. The specific practices that preserve anonymity are a specific topic worth studying. The fourth consideration is to understand the specific threat model that Tor addresses. Tor is strong against specific adversaries who are observing the network or who run specific services the user is accessing. Tor is less strong against specific adversaries who have compromised the user's computer or who can observe a large fraction of the Tor network itself. For users whose adversaries have these specific capabilities, additional measures beyond Tor may be needed. The broader observation is that strong anonymity on the internet is achievable, but requires specific tools and specific practices. The tools exist, are free, and are maintained by communities of specific experts. The specific practices that make the tools effective require some study and some discipline. For users who need this kind of anonymity, the investment is worth making. For users whose needs can be met by conventional privacy tools, the investment may not be necessary. Subscribe for the next video, which covers the specific use cases for Tor and related tools in detail with specific guidance on when each is appropriate and what the specific configuration should be for different situations. And in the comments, tell me about your specific use cases for anonymity and what your experience has been with these tools. The specific aggregate picture of how users employ these tools is useful for the broader understanding of what they are for.